Ubisoft's open world Star Wars game could release early 2024, says report. Says report, you're the report. I'm reading you. The report says that this game is currently scheduled to release the fiscal year between April of 2023 and March of 2024, and is the another big game Ubisoft mentioned in its latest earnings call. According to the report, though, Kotaku sources believe that the current fiscal year targeted is probably too ambitious, and a title will likely ship into next year. And the title will likely slip into next year, April 2024 through March 2025. I'm willing to bet that they are absolutely correct, because Ubisoft has been dog shit. Because Ubisoft has been dog shit when it comes to predicting the release date of their games. In fact, it's a running theme. All of these major games companies have had to come out multiple times to delay their products. And the fact that I haven't even seen this game advertised in any fashion whatsoever is laughable. If true, it means we could expect to see some form of announcement at this year's Ubisoft Forward event. Everyone wants to have an E3. Xbox has Xbox Showcase, Sony's doing whatever the fuck they're doing, Bethesda has their own Bethesda Showcase. Everyone wants to be E3. But I remember E3, and when E3 was going on, nobody fucking cared. Because it was the same fucking shit every fucking year. There's no way in hell that Ubisoft is gonna have all of these things in play in order to justify their own fucking event. Speaking with sources, it's understood that the publisher is aiming to be a lot more conservative with its announcements moving forward to improve its public perception. Constant delays to the likes of Skull and Bones have meant that the publisher wants to now announce its titles when their projected release dates can be met confidently. Skull and Bones is such a fucking whiplash of a game. I still don't know what it's about. All I've seen is them building up hype for it and then fucking apologizing profusely that it isn't out and that they have to delay it again. The only thing I know about Skull and Bones is that you fight with ships and it's been delayed so many goddamn times. This game was supposed to come out years ago. But so far, all of the advertisements that I've seen has just been them saying, it's gonna come out, it's gonna come out, it's gonna come out. They forgot to tell me what it is. Now it's out, but I don't know what it is. Of course, that's been an issue with a lot of Ubisoft games recently. They don't know how to market them. Some would argue they don't even know how to build them. And the article goes on to ask, when do you think Ubisoft's open world Star Wars game will release? Now, of course, Star Wars is Star Wars. If it's an open world Star Wars, you're gonna have to fly in your ship to other fucking planets and all that other shit. Sci-fi. Does it remind you of anything? Of course it does. Of course it does. It reminds you of Starfield by Bethesda Games. So you might be thinking, oh, things are going to heat up between the two of these companies, right? No. See, I regret to inform you that the Starfield review Discord has already begun. Microsoft is throwing in the fucking towel, bro. They don't care. You spend all that money on a fucking RPG company known for making sci-fi and fantasy games. You expect them to do their fucking job and make some good shit. You give them more money than they know what to do with. That was the whole point of 76, was for Bethesda to get more money. And what do? They shit on you. Doom Eternal soundtrack was shit. I don't care about anything else. That soundtrack was half the fucking game. It was half the soundtrack, half me shooting shit, alright? And me shooting shit was the same shooting shit that I did back in 2016 when the first one released. Then, of course, 76 came out. That game was a fucking disaster. And now, Redfall. We're still 15 weeks away from the. We're still 15 weeks away from Starfield. But conversations about how its review scores will fit into the wider landscape have already kicked off. Speaking on the Xbox Era podcast over the weekend, Jesus fucking Christ, they got their own podcast. Leaker Nick Baker suggested that it doesn't matter if Starfield is great. I'm already convinced that no one wants to give Starfield high review scores. Nigga. Everyone wants to give Starfield high review scores. That's how they make their money. I'm the one who says that shit. Your Kotakus, your IGNs, your whatever the fuck, they're gonna give you a high review score. But if the game is shit, I'm the one who says the game is shit to my friends. But that isn't reflected in any fucking score. Baker's thesis is that low scores ranging from 7.87 to 8.5 out of 10 would be handed down to spin up a news cycle about Xbox's continued difficulties over recent years. This doesn't have shit to do with Xbox. I don't know why you're trying to pretend that this got shit to do with Xbox. No, but this doesn't have shit to do with Xbox. Nobody cares. It's dead. It's dead. You could say Windows, maybe. Windows platform. You can't fucking say Xbox. What does Xbox have? Why do I care? You're not Sony, alright? Sony has their exclusives. Alright, they have their culture. They have Japan. They own Japan. What the fuck do you own? They've been trying for over a year now to buy Activision Blizzard. And Activision Blizzard is killing itself. Every fucking week I'm out here hearing new shit about Activision Blizzard. Oh, they're stealing my breast milk. Oh, they fucking covered the handicap parking spot in cement. Oh, they got rid of the handrail on the stairs. And they fuck and I have to go up with my wheelchair and they just push me back down. It's fucking ridiculous, alright? And that's the big Hail Mary, is to buy Activision Blizzard. Overwatch is fucked. Overwatch is fucked. Call of Duty is fucked. And I'm a COD player, alright? Diablo 4 is shit. But the Diablo Immortals was making, what, 2 million a month? That's fucking wild. So I don't think they care. Ignoring the fact a 7 out of 10 game is still good. And anything that nets 85% is one of the best games of a given year, that thesis is flawed in many ways. Not least among them is the fact that the only people who benefit from the struggles of one of the big 3 first-party publishers are the shareholders of the other 2. Nintendo, Sony. Those are the only 2 people who can stand to gain from this. Mind you, this only affects Microsoft. No. Mind you, this doesn't only affect Microsoft. This doesn't only negatively affect Xbox. It's the entire Microsoft corporation. Too many people have their hands in that for there to be some fucking Shadow Realm bullshit going on. Like a bunch of fucking Japanese businessmen meet in cloaks and decide how they're gonna screw them over. A recent Forbes article suggests that the Metacritic scores attached to the rest of Bethesda's catalog, skirting awkwardly around Fallout 76's 55%. 55%. Redfall, Fallout 76. That's what they've done in the past 10 years. Doom Eternal, sure, but nah, they published that, they didn't develop that. You can say Fallout 4 was okay, but you can't say it was good. Fallout 4 was okay, but it wasn't good, it wasn't an RPG. You don't even care about exploring in Fallout 4. That game exploration was boring as shit. Characters were awful. Fallout 4 is about gunning shit down and building bases. That's what you use Fallout 4 for. None of the shit that you would want from Starfield is gonna be in Fallout 4, and even then, the weapon designs were atrocious in Fallout 4, and they look to be completely laughable in Starfield. But as you see, more than enough evidence that Starfield is on track for a similar appraisal. Forbes knows. Forbes been testing the water and they fucking know. Perhaps a significant factor in the amount of attention being paid to his particular set of reviews, however, is the amount of pressured reform that Starfield is under after Redfall. As Heather put it earlier this month, Xbox needs a win after the difficult launch of its co-op vampire shooter. And Starfield is firmly in the community's sightlines. Quote, there's no ignoring the fact that expectations have only skyrocketed with the launch of Redfall, and it feels like Redfall needs to do, and it feels like Starfield needs to do well to see the latter half of Xbox lineup this year. To see out the latter half of Xbox lineup this year. Look, my expectations were already fucking low. After Fallout 4, Fallout 76, I said, can the gunplay be good? And can I fly around in my fucking ship at 30 frames per second? Then Redfall comes out. No, you can't even have 30 frames per second. We hate you. When Microsoft bought Bethesda, I thought this is it. We're finally gonna get 40, 50, maybe even 60 frames per second. No, God fuck no. 30 frames per second all day, every day until you die. If you're lucky. Because it's gonna dip down. You're gonna get 20 frames. You're gonna get 10 frames. It's gonna be a fucking Google Slides presentation. And what's the story gonna be? What's the story? I haven't heard shit about the story. What have they advertised so far? Guns and base building. And some fucking shit they ripped off of No Man's Sky. Bethesda isn't new to procedural generation either. If you've played Daggerfall, the second Elder Scrolls game, that game featured heavy procedural generation. I think it's, to this day, the largest map that they've had for any of their products. It's okay, but it's boring because it's procedurally generated. All of the buildings are rectangles. It's made in the 90s, but still all the buildings are rectangles. None of the NPCs matter. You look at Fallout. Name a single Fallout NPC that you care about. You can't. Sure, 3 was good for the time. For the time, it was one of the first person RPGs. People were lost in the world. Now everyone's got a world. You can't just have a setting and then be like, oh, our game is so good because it has a setting. No, you have to push it forward. But Ubisoft, they're not fucking. You think they care? No. Assassin's Creed Mirage is in development for October. Here it is. But Ubisoft isn't throwing in the title. You told them their games are shit. They put out 5 more games by the end of the year. Assassin's Creed Mirage will be released in October. It's claimed. So this is after Skull and Bones' failure. Before the Star Wars. Assassin's Creed Mirage will be released in October. It's claimed. Jesus fuck. These are guys you can't stop. This is why no one goes to war with the Canadians. They don't care. It's like 1812. They burned the White House. We burned the city of, what was it, Quebec? We burned a city. They burned a house. They call that a draw. You're not winning with these guys. Yeah, this is probably one Todd Howard, you can lie to me and you can lie to millions of paying customers, but you cannot lie to Bill Gates. He's coming for your ass, dude. It's fucking wild. In a time where we're asking questions like the escapist, who is to blame for Redfall, and Game Rant, Redfall's failure put Starfield between a rock and a hard place. It's so disheartening to see Bethesda, for starters, release two fucking games in the same year. One is broken, one isn't. But to also not give a shit at the same time. That is Ubisoft energy right there. That is Ubisoft energy right there. But let me know, do you care about this shit? Do you care about open world Star Wars? Yeah, when I was a kid I cared about open world Star Wars. It's all shit. It's fucking Valhalla, Legion, Far Cry 6, and Extraction. All of these games sucked ass. All of them sucked ass. Even Siege on release sucked ass. I think it sucks ass now. I can't get into it. I can't get it. I was in the game early on when you had to unlock all the starting operators. So all of my early level shit went to that, and then they just gave them out to people for free. And now, if you just start the game today, you fucking blow past me because you get to spend all your early level points on the new operators, and I'm just there with all of the old ones that you get for free now. That I unlocked one at a time. Fuck you, I guess. I don't know. But why would you? But why would you expect more from Star Wars, a franchise murdered by Disney, especially after all of the, especially after all of the issues we have with Jedi Survivor? But I don't know. That's just me. Again, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm personally not feeling either of these games. But I guess the question is, who loses more money? Ubisoft or Bethesda? Honestly, it's not even Bethesda. Ubisoft versus the entire Microsoft corporation. Who loses more money on this? Because sure, Ubisoft, they're known for making shit games. But it's Star Wars, you know. I think that might pull them through. But Starfield is a new IP, and this is what happened to their last new IP. Get that? That is Xbox 360 energy right there. Not even. That is PS2 re-released on PC. Install a mod, get it on widescreen 1080p quality right there. This is 90s video game Unity remake quality. Not even. Destroy All Humans 2 looks better than this. This this looks like a Sims 2 character.